Brewster here with Brewster's Millions of Rants, and this is updates and upgrades. And I recently did upgrade some equipment in my studio, and I didn't really share it, and I wasn't trying to keep a secret. I just wanted to see if any of the viewers out there actually noticed some of the upgrades. So I did get a new camera. I also got a new loaded pickguard for my Strat, and a few other things. But I wanted to kind of thank everybody for the continued, viewage and support, the likes, the shares, the comments, the requests. The Patreon supporters. I've even had people donate to the channel, kind of a separate, donation from Patreon, which was a big shock. So I want to thank everybody for, tuning in, watching, paying attention, asking questions, requesting certain, lessons and certain groups and guitarists, because this really has just kind of blown up in front of my face, and I didn't expect any of the excitement or appreciation. And there have been some negative things, which this is going to be all positive stuff. So there's enough negativity going around. I'm not going to sit here and complain. I'm going to thank those that are actually tuning in, supporting, watching, and really getting something out of this. So that makes me feel great. That's the whole point for me doing this. But I wasn't really sure if that was what was going to happen. And that's exactly what's happened. So that's awesome. So thank you. The first thing I wanted to discuss, which I did buy this kind of neat little case, but I did upgrade my camera. So some of you may have noticed, but originally when I started this channel, I was using this camera. This is a Hero, like a GoPro Hero 7 White, which was like the least expensive, basic, model on the market. And that definitely served its purpose. It worked really well. I did have some audio issues with it, especially if I was using a lot of distortion or overdrive, and I had viewers that kind of, commented about the microphone. Can you fix your microphone? It sounds like it's out of phase or it's distorted. And that was the camera. But I did notice that GoPro recently went on sale, and all the, GoPro 7s are actually discounted. So I did recently upgrade, and I went from the GoPro Hero 7 White to the GoPro Hero 7 Black, which at the time was top of the line. I think they're getting ready to release a GoPro 8 or something, which right now I'm not really worried about that one at all. I was focused on upgrading what I had. So I can't really show the new camera because I'm talking into it right now, but I did upgrade the camera, which is the first big upgrade. The second upgrade that I made just recently, this is literally within a week, I bought a preloaded, Fender pickguard, which if you look carefully, there's my old pickguard with the Seymour Duncan's, the JB, reverse wound, and the cool rails. I definitely love that configuration, and actually this pickguard had been on my guitar for somewhat around like 15 years or something like that. So although I do kind of miss the red Super Swirl, tortoiseshell, the new pickguard, which I'm going to hang on to those pickups, of course, but the new pickguard, this is awesome, and I'm really, really blown away and impressed. It's a Shawbucker in 2 Fender noiseless, single coils. It came preloaded. The pots were new, the switch was new, the pickguard, everything was wired. I literally had to solder 3 things, after I installed this. When I replaced, took the old one out, put the new one in. You've got to, you got to solder 2 wires to your input jack. You've got a ground in the back. And then like under the pickguard, there's kind of the screw wire where you kind of screw a Phillips head screw, which is also part of the ground. So you've got 3 or 4 wires you have to deal with, but that's it. There's minimal soldering. I think once I took the strings off, unscrewed, the old pickguard and popped it off, I had the new one installed and ready to go like in 5 or 10 minutes. It was like that. But I'm really impressed, and I'm definitely going to showcase these pickups so you can kind of hear them and see what the fuss is about. But the main reason why I decided to make the switch was with the old configuration with Seymour Duncan pickups, it sounded great, but it didn't really sound like a Strat. It just sounded like a hot-rodded, rock guitar, which was fine. But I really wanted those glassy kind of in-between, the Strat tones, the real Stratty, sounds. And I was really hoping. I read up on this, I read reviews, I was definitely impressed with the specs. And then I just went for it. And as soon as I installed it, strung it up, and plugged in, I was grinning, from ear to ear. Because I definitely have those nice Stratty tones now. So I'm just going to demonstrate this. I'm just going to use that riff I was playing in the beginning, which is something new I've been kind of playing with. But here's, Minimal overdrive and distortion, just kind of like a slight overdrive tone. There's my tone. I'm on the neck pickup currently. Nice neck pickup tone. As soon as I switch it to position 4, really nice Strat, like, single coil tones. The middle position. Position 2. And then finally position 1. Definitely has those super glassy, Strat tones, which is what I was looking for. A nice blend of different tones too, with just one flick of the pickup selector. And I didn't quite have that with the old arrangement, with Seymour Duncan. I still love Seymour Duncans, and they're still loaded in my Les Paul. But I really wanted the Strat to kind of return to a Strat, instead of some hot-rodded, kind of Frankenstrat, which is what it was, and it still is. But I wanted those Fender tones, and this arrangement definitely gives those to me. Now the Shawbucker definitely, when you crank up the distortion, it's just rocking. That's a great humbucker for sure. Positions sound great, depending on how much gain or distortion I have, it definitely kind of gets, gainier and heavier. There's one more thing I want to talk about and kind of share in this video, and that's something that's coming out later this summer. I'm hoping maybe around August or so, August or July, August, I hope. I'm going to release this, which I know you probably don't recognize this. And this totally reveals how old school I actually am, because I'm sitting beside my laptop talking into a GoPro camera, and here I am showing, like a rough draft manuscript of a book. But this is a book entitled Fretboard Fitness, and I actually wrote this, or I started putting it together about 2 years ago, and slowly started to compile it. It's literally written, long form kind of notes with, handwritten, notation and examples and things like that. But Fretboard Fitness is basically an exercise or workout book, and it has warm-ups and exercises, for frethand, for picking, to build dexterity and strength and finger independence and all sorts of stuff. So this isn't ready yet. I'm still putting it together. But I was originally going to release this as a book, and I was going to pitch it to some of my publishers that I've worked with. But then once I've started this channel, started working with YouTube, and kind of got used to, this new way of doing things, I decided I'm going to make this into a video course. And it's going to have a PDF with it, with all the notation and some text. And then the video obviously is going to demonstrate what's in the book. And like I said, it's basically workouts and exercises, building, picking technique and fretting technique on the guitar. And for Patreon supporters, this is actually going to be free of charge. It's going to be shared and posted on Patreon for free, which is only $5 a month. And you also have access to PDFs that you can print or save or download. And those are mostly the 3-for-all and Brewster's millions of rants and scales and tales. I haven't included the chord play episodes yet. I'm kind of trying to figure out a way to tap dance around some of the copyright laws, and I definitely don't want things to get shut down here. So I'm trying to do this in a very intelligent and kind of knowledgeable way. And so far we're good, but I'm just afraid if I start creating PDFs of actual sheet music, I could be targeted or kind of, in trouble. So I'm trying to keep things legal and safe, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around the chord play notation. But as far as Fretboard Fitness is concerned, I'm definitely going to keep updating and kind of sharing information about this. It'll probably be around like $12 or $15, you know, something like that. It's not going to be super duper expensive. And like I said, it's a PDF and a video lesson. I want to take a minute again and thank everybody for, you know, the continued support, views, the subscriptions, the shares, the comments, the likes, the requests, and all the attention and excitement, you know, surrounding late night lessons. I'm very, you know, impressed and kind of shocked that it's actually done anything. And as far as the upgrades that I've recently made, the new camera, upgraded the pickups and things like that, that's completely from your support and, you know, the donations and the monthly support to this channel, you know. And I didn't really invest very much initially because I really wasn't sure what was going to happen. But now that I'm kind of seeing how things are growing and we're nearing, you know, like 34,000 subscribers, I've reached over 2 million views, and I'm blown away. So now I felt like, well, I'm going to upgrade some things, upgrade the camera, upgrade my tone, you know, and I'm going to continue to kind of upgrade as I move along. So I'm only getting started, and this is a brand new endeavor for me, and definitely the excitement and the feedback and the support has really been a shock and inspiration at the same time, because it inspired me to just kind of dive in even more. And especially with everything happening now with this virus and the quarantines and everything, as soon as I self-quarantined myself about 2 months ago, I just dove into this head first because I wasn't gigging, I wasn't going anywhere, you know, to leave to go to work. I found myself at home. So I shut off the TV and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to start knocking out lessons. And I was knocking out lessons almost daily. And, you know, what initially started with, you know, my free time and just kind of doing some extra work in my studio actually turned into a source of income during this, you know, viral scare. So I want to thank everybody once again for helping me kind of, you know, move through these growing pains and growing stages of this channel, supporting, donating, you know, the Patreon support, even just the likes and the comments and sharing and things like that on Facebook or on YouTube. That's massive, you know, that's major. You don't have to pay anything. You can just kind of watch the videos and enjoy it. But if you leave a comment or you share it with a friend or whatever, that's great. You know, it's kind of spreading the word and kind of helping me grow even more. So anyway, I just want to thank everybody. Please be safe out there, and stay tuned for more, because I've definitely got more content and more material coming. So leave some feedback and some comments. Please subscribe to Late Night Lessons, and I'll be back before you know with more content and material. Thank you.